That's a lot of money is exactly what I want you to be saying to yourself after you win watching this video. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show because today we're turning $20 into $500 with my picks. Now, I will say this. I'm going to be looking at the Raiders and Chargers game. I do have a special sprinkle in there. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm going to show you 6-player stat projections I'm rolling with this week, and it's all around the Raiders and Chargers football game. But let's make a deal here. I've actually never done this segment before on the Raiders Report, and if you like the show, especially if you turn $20 into $500, you better go back and you better click that like button. If this show gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to do this video every single week to help you put some more money in your pocket. Now, I get it. Not everybody knows what PrizePicks is. Not everybody knows that PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. PrizePicks is just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Download the PrizePicks app today at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Now that you understand what PrizePicks is, and I think everybody who's watching the show would be like, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I would love to turn $20 into $500. I had a few people out there in the studios who are like, all right, Mitch, sign me up for that. First one is this, and I know I said it's only Raiders and Chargers, but I also love free money. Caleb Williams, half of a passing yard. If you think that that's going to happen, he needs to be in every single one of your PrizePicks lineups this week. So I'm going to take the more on that. This is going to be the only one that is not involving the Raiders, but because it's just such a gimme, you got to put it in your lineup, man. Let's go to the next one. Davante Adams, 72.5 receiving yards. More or less, if you watched my show earlier in the week, you already know this answer. Give me the more on Davante Adams. If there is one guy that I can guarantee you is going to absolutely light SoFi Stadium up in flames, it's going to be Davante Adams. Why? Because that's what he does. Since putting on the silver and black jersey, every time he goes up against the Chargers, he has never had under 8 catches. He has never had under 75 yards. And guess what? In the 4 games that he's played, he's had a total of 4 touchdowns. Over the 4 games, he has seen 54 targets, 34 grabs, 494 yards, and 4 show me those TDs. On an average game basis, 8.5 grabs, 123.5 yards, and a touchdown. Davante Adams, with the matchups that he's going to get, if they want to put Asante Samuel Jr. on him, which that's really your only answer because the other guys you got, Christian Fulton, give me a break. Jasir Taylor, give me a break. Davante Adams is going to have a mismatch every single time he lines up, which he normally does. I just hope that Luke Getsy, Gardner Minshew is going to be smart enough to get number 17 the football early and often on Sunday. So my question, and this is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show, if you bleed silver and black, like I'm talking diehard Raider fan, womb to the tomb, you're somebody that screams Raiders every time you hear Antonio Pierce say it, you better go down to the comment section right now because you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, and I want to know what you're thinking. How many receiving yards will Davante Adams have in week 1? After this ad break is going to be my answer. My answer is you need to go watch this video because Davante Adams being a member of this team is bad news for the Chargers. And I told exactly what I think Davante's stat is going to be. If you want to go check this one out, go check it out. It's down in the comments on today's show. And if you're looking for free Raiders videos every single day, I promise you this. I put out a video every day on this channel for 4 years. You might not always agree with my more or lesses. You might not always agree with my takes. But if you have that commitment to excellence, I promise you, I'm going to match it. Let's go to the next one here. Gardner Minshew. 7.5 rushing yards. Yeah, I mean, like, this is where we get. Is how anal we get. I guess that's the way you would use it. I'm going to go with the more on this one as well for 7.5 for Gardner. And I'll tell you this right now. And, like, you got to paint the full picture, and I just want to be honest. Minshew rushed for over 7.5 rushing yards only 3 times last season. That was it. He only did it 3 times. However, though, I think that this year is going to be a little bit different because Getsy wants Gardner to create with his legs. I know Luke Getsy's past offenses with Justin Fields, Tyson Bagent. Minshew's not that type of quarterback. But I also know that because Luke Getsy's offense, this is going to create more situations where Minshew's actually going to have the chance to run with the football because He's going to roll outside the pocket, and that's how they want him to create. And it's a small sample size, but he did have 12 rushing yards this preseason and about 2 quarters of action. So I look at the 2 quarters of action. I also look at probably the best play that Minshew had, which was like 3rd down and 4. Escapes, rolls out to the right, picks up a first down. The very next play hits DJ Turner with like a 20-yard strike to the end zone. That's how the Raiders want Minshew to create, and I think he's going to have more than 7.5 rushing yards in this game. Let's go to Brock Bowers, the rookie tight end. Currently it is slotted at 43.5 receiving yards for the rookie. I'm going to go with less, and I'm not going to lie. This is a really, really tough one for me, but the reason why I'm going to go with less is because Antonio Pierce seems confident that he's going to be playing in this game. And again, at the time that I'm making this video, I made it before their Wednesday practice, so just keep that in mind. But I do think that the Raiders might ease in Bowers just simply because they have so much confidence in Michael Mayer. They do believe in Harrison Bryant. And with all the other options they have in Davante Adams and Jakobi Meyers, I really don't think that they want to rush Bowers in. Pierce has talked about kind of easing in JPJ, Jackson Powers-Johnson, and this is also a tough matchup. Derwin James is one of the most respected safeties in the NFL, and if I was the Chargers, I would figure out my way to put Derwin James in line, and I would put him on Bowers. Bowers is going to be able to do a lot of things in the slot, line him up as a tight end. Heck, they might even line him up as an H-back. He's a mismatch, no doubt about it. But because the Raiders are confident in a lot of other players and because he hasn't really practiced since the middle of August, all I'm saying is I'm just going to take the less on Brock Bowers, but it's because I think that they're going to involve more with a guy like Jakobi Meyers, who's the next guy up here. And I see this one at 3.5 receptions. This is another one that is rather challenging for me to wrap my mind around, but I am going to go with more simply because of me saying what I just did there about Bowers. Bowers is going to line up in the slot. When he doesn't, I think you're going to see Jakobi Meyers, who is a little bit of a bigger outside slot receiver, going to get more of those opportunities. Also, he's averaging 6.3 receptions over the past 3 years in week 1, so he's a fast starter. Reliable target every single down and distance. I don't care if it's 1st down and 10 and you're at your own 20. I don't care if it's 1st down and goal, you're at your 5. I don't care if it's 1st down or 3rd down, 2nd down. Jakobi Meyers is a pro's pro. He lines up, he does exactly what you tell him, and I think that's going to pay huge dividends for Luke Getsy, for this offense early on. I love me some Jakobi Meyers. I will admit, he did have only 2 catches the last time the Raiders played the Chargers, but it was also 42-0 at halftime. He also had a 22-yard touchdown catch in the first quarter. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go, well, he didn't have 3.5 catches last season in both the Chargers games. The first one was just Josh McDaniels. Aiden O'Connell was fighting for his life. The second game was the craziest football game I think I've ever witnessed, which 4 days after the Raiders lost 3-0. Crazy roller coaster ride. But I'm willing to hop on the roller coaster ride that is Jakobi Meyers. So my question to the nation is this. Based on what I just told you, more or less for Brock and Jakobi Meyers, if you think that Jakobi Meyers is going to have more receiving yards in week 1 than Brock Bowers, then I think you should roll with my mores on Jakobi if you're like, nah. If you're answering BB here, then you go put some on the more for Brock Bowers, and then I think you go less on Jakobi Meyers. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sitting up here telling you that I'm going to type my JM. Now, that might change next week, and I think one of the best things about this Raiders offense, and I've said it before, they're going to be able to beat you with like 1,000 paper cuts, where they're going to meticulously march down the field. Chugs is hyped up that I got that one right. Quite frankly, I am too. Meticulously march down the field, and they can beat you with Davante. They can beat you, like I said before, Michael Mayer, Harrison Bryant, Trey Tucker, Jakobi Meyers. They can do it in a lot of different ways, so it's going to create mismatches. But those 2 players, I think, could be counterbalancing each other for a lot of this season. Let's go to the last one here to help y'all turn 20 into 500 buckaroos. Cameron Dicker, 1.5 field goals made. I'm actually going to take the more on this one as well. And, they call him Dicker the Kicker, right? I think that's what it is, right? Dicker the Kicker. Yep, appreciate it. I got a big thumbs up back there for Tex. I think that's the only one I ever got. He heard Cameron Dicker the Kicker, and he's in. Patrick Graham runs a bend but don't break defense. And I think a lot of times that sets up opportunities for opposing teams to take advantage of the points because they know if you get down there inside the 30, it's not as easy as what originally was, so you'll take some points there. Harbaugh at home, to me, just screams that he is going to take the points. Harbaugh is somebody that wants to run the rock a ton, rely on their defense, and not put too much pressure on Justin Herbert. The Chargers also just gave him a 4-year, $22 million extension on August 30th. So based on the way that I think that this game's going to play out, and based off the way that I think that the Raiders are going to play their defense the way that they do, I could see Cameron Dicker, who also finished the season very strong last season. I also want to say he was 31 of 33 on field goal attempts. And a Greg Roman offense with Jim Harbaugh as head coach, Dicker's going to have a lot more opportunities to kick some field goals, and I'm okay with it. Like, the other part about playing PrizePicks is rooting for things that you want to happen. Every time the Chargers are marching down the field and they kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown, I'm going to be a happy individual. I'm also going to be a happy individual if you guys ride with my picks here on PrizePicks. So one more time, I got Caleb Williams more than half of a passing yard, which that one's a lock. Davante Adams more than 72.5. Gardner Minshew more than 7.5 rushing yards. Brock Bowers less than 43.5 receiving. Jakobi Meyers more than 3.5 receptions. And then Dicker the kicker more than 1.5 field goals made. So if anybody likes this one, reminder, this is 20 to win $500. And one more time, download the PrizePicks app today, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. If you enjoyed today's show and you put some extra money in your pocket, hey, we're doing this thing every single week. Make sure you click that like button.